Hello. It's been a minute since I've been in this chair, but I feel like, well, I have something that's been on my mind for probably over a decade at this point. Now, see, I would like to make a correction to a common misunderstanding and misinterpretation from the movie Titanic. Now, this is one of my favorite movies. I think it's one of the greatest love stories ever told in cinema. And this movie is, well, it has a very popular scene that people love to reference. And that would be the scene at the end. Rose being on a large door or piece of wood, I think it's often referred to as a door, and Jack being in the water. Now, obviously this leads to the sort of dramatic climax to the end, which is, spoiler alert, Jack dies and Rose remains on the wood, and she survives because she's able to stay out of the freezing cold water as Jack's icy corpse floats to the bottom. Now, there's somewhat of a debate circling this image in particular, where Rose is on what I actually think is the mantle of a fireplace, and Jack is in the water, and the discussion is around how Rose was, I guess, selfish, or Jack was dumb, whichever one you want to take, because there was in fact room on the door for both of them. This has created a whole series of memes and references, mainly a very famous illustration that was done by a couple of what I presume are high school students of how much room they in fact had on that piece of wood and how they both could have survived by floating outside of the water if they had just shared. What has bothered me for so many years as I've watched this movie time and time again is a glaringly obvious problem with this conversation, which is that, well, let me just show you instead.
Get on. Come on, Rose. Stay on, Rose.
Did you catch it? Let me break it down a little bit more. As Jack and Rose swim up to the piece of wood, there is a certain level of buoyancy to it. Rose is able to climb on, but unfortunately, when Jack starts to climb on, the door begins to do that thing that happens when you try to push up a volleyball underwater, is that it sinks and then spurts out on the side. So here's what that tells you. It has nothing to do with is there enough room. It's about the stability and, most importantly, the buoyancy of the wood. Now, maybe that's left up for interpretation, but I'd like to reference a deleted scene that I think is only going to further the evidence to my argument.
It's just enough for this lady. We'll push it under.
Let me try at least, or I'll die soon.
We'll die sooner if you come any closer.
In case you didn't catch it, let me play it again for you.
We'll push it under.
You'll push it under. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this has never at any point been a valid argument about space, but yet always an argument about buoyancy. So all of these posts, all of these memes, all of these references saying that yes, there was enough space on that door or that mantle or that wood for Jack are correct, but they are wrong at the reason in which he dies in the water. It is a question of buoyancy of the wood. That's all I've wanted to say. Now, could Jack have still survived that situation if they made more than one attempt, or maybe he went to the other side and got on it? Yeah, probably. But it's not about space. It's about buoyancy and weight. Thank you.